The Ducati Panigale V4 R is not just another superbike. It is Ducati's purest expression of racing technology made legal for the road. A machine that exists to blur the line between MotoGP engineering and what you can actually buy from a showroom. When you first see it, the bike feels less like a product and more like an experience waiting to be unleashed. With its aggressive aerodynamic design, winglets carved straight from racing prototypes, and the sheer presence of its sharp fairings, the V4R doesn't whisper performance, it screams it. At the heart of this motorcycle lies the Desmosedici Stradale R engine, a 998 cubic centimeters V4 masterpiece. Unlike the standard V4 engines from Ducati, the R version is built with one goal in mind: racing homologation. It produces up to 218 horsepower out of the box, but that figure climbs to around 237 horsepower with Ducati's racing exhaust system. These numbers are staggering when you consider this is a production motorcycle. The rev ceiling is another aspect that sets it apart. The Panigale V4R can rev up to a screaming 16,500 revolutions per minute in 6th gear, which is unheard of for most road-legal motorcycles. Every twist of the throttle is like commanding a MotoGP bike, and that's precisely what Ducati wanted to achieve. The sound of this machine deserves its own mention. The growl of the V4R is sharper, louder, and more visceral than its siblings. It has an almost mechanical symphony, with the intake howl and the exhaust note working together to create an emotional experience. Riders often describe it as addictive, the kind of sound that compels you to roll on the throttle again and again just to hear it sing. In a world where many motorcycles are becoming quieter to meet regulations, the Panigale V4R still manages to carry that raw Ducati soul. The aerodynamics of the V4R are one of its most defining features. Those winglets on the fairings aren't there for style alone. They are functional, producing downforce that keeps the front end planted under extreme acceleration. At speeds over 270 km per hour, the downforce generated is significant enough to make a tangible difference in stability. Ducati took lessons directly from its MotoGP program to ensure the V4R isn't just fast in a straight line, but also stable and predictable when ridden at the limit. Handling on the Panigale V4R is razor sharp. The bike uses a lightweight aluminum frame paired with top-tier Öhlins suspension components. Every aspect of the suspension is adjustable, allowing riders to fine-tune the setup whether they are on the street or carving through a racetrack. Combine this with Brembo Stylema R brakes, and you have a package that inspires confidence even under the harshest braking zones. Cornering feels intuitive, the feedback is direct, and every movement of your body translates into precise motion from the motorcycle. For riders who crave perfection in handling, this machine is as close as it gets. Electronics play a huge role in making the V4R accessible to more than just professional racers. Ducati has equipped this bike with a comprehensive suite of rider aids. These include traction control, wheelie control, slide control, engine brake control, and multiple riding modes. There is also a quick shifter for seamless up and down shifts, making the riding experience smoother and faster. The electronics are all tied into a 6-axis IMU, which means they adjust in real time based on lean angle, speed, and throttle input. For those who want to push boundaries, but still have a safety net, these systems provide the perfect balance between performance and control. The ergonomics of the Panigale V4R reflect its racing DNA. It is not designed for comfort in the traditional sense, but for maximum efficiency on track. The riding position is aggressive, with low clip-ons and high rear sets that push the rider into a forward-leaning stance. This position may be demanding on long rides, but it allows the rider to become one with the machine during spirited riding. The fuel tank has been shaped to provide excellent grip for the legs, and even small details like the seat padding have been refined to suit high-performance riding. Visually, the Ducati Panigale V4R is nothing short of stunning. Its racing-inspired livery, The exposed carbon fiber elements and the sheer attention to detail make it as much a work of art as it is a performance machine. Ducati has always had a reputation for designing motorcycles that captivate the eye, but with the V4R, they have elevated that philosophy. It looks fast even when it's standing still. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Panigale V4 R is how exclusive it feels. It isn't a bike that you see parked outside coffee shops every weekend. It is rare, expensive, and unapologetically designed for enthusiasts who understand its purpose. This sense of exclusivity makes ownership even more special. It is not just about having a motorcycle, it's about possessing a piece of Ducati's racing heritage. On the track, the Panigale V4 R comes alive in a way that few machines can match. The acceleration is brutal yet controlled, the braking is immediate, and the cornering precision makes it feel like an extension of your body. Every lap becomes an exploration of your own limits, and the bike never feels like it is the weak point. Instead, it challenges you to rise to its level. For professional racers, it offers a platform capable of serious competition. For enthusiasts, it provides the closest experience to MotoGP possible without stepping onto a grid. Of course, owning a machine like the Panigale V4 R comes with responsibility. It is not a beginner's bike, nor is it forgiving if treated carelessly. It demands respect, skill, and dedication. Maintenance is another aspect that requires commitment. Ducati's high-performance engines and components need careful attention. And this is not a motorcycle that you simply ride and forget. But for those who accept this responsibility, the reward is unparalleled. The price of the Ducati Panigale V4 R reflects its exclusivity and performance. It sits at the top of Ducati's lineup, commanding a premium that few are willing to pay. However, those who do make the investment are not just buying a motorcycle. They are buying into a philosophy, a legacy, and a piece of engineering excellence that represents the very peak of what Ducati can achieve. When you consider the technology, the performance, and the emotion that this machine delivers, the price begins to make sense. For many riders, the Panigale V4 R is a dream bike, something to admire from a distance or aspire to own one day. For those fortunate enough to experience it, it becomes a benchmark against which all other motorcycles are measured. It is not simply about speed or numbers on a spec sheet. It is about the feeling, the connection, and the sense of being part of something greater. Few motorcycles manage to combine art, engineering, and emotion in the way this Ducati does. The Ducati Panigale V4 R is a statement. It says that motorcycling can still be pure, thrilling, and uncompromising in an era where regulations and restrictions are shaping the industry. It is Ducati's way of reminding the world that racing is in its DNA, and that DNA has been distilled into this road-going masterpiece. Whether you see it as a collector's item, a track weapon, or the ultimate superbike, one thing is certain. The Panigale V4 R stands at the pinnacle of motorcycle engineering, and it may be remembered for years to come as one of the most iconic machines Ducati has ever created.